Welcome to Keep Vita, where health is explained calmly. What I'm about to share today may make some of you uncomfortable. It may even challenge everything you've believed about health for decades. So before we begin, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. When was the last time you had a cold or a fever? Last year? 3 years ago? Or are you proudly thinking, I never get sick? I haven't had a fever in 20 years. I don't even sneeze. If you're that person, the one who believes that never getting sick is proof of a strong body, then please listen very carefully to what I'm about to say, because this is not something to be proud of. In fact, it may be one of the most dangerous warning signs your body can give. I know that sounds extreme. I know it goes against everything we've been taught, but stay with me. If you do, you may realize that our understanding of illness and of health itself has been deeply flawed. Because the most frightening thing is not that your body gets sick. The most frightening thing is when your body loses the ability to get sick at all. Let me ask you to observe something. Look at elderly people who live into their late 80s or 90s, or think about sudden deaths you hear about in the news. Have you noticed a strange pattern? Often the people who live the longest are not the perfectly healthy ones. They're the ones who always seemed a bit fragile. They caught colds easily. They had seasonal coughs. They went to the doctor more than others. Meanwhile, many people who appear incredibly strong, middle-aged executives, family pillars, people who never get sick, collapse suddenly. One checkup, one scan, late-stage diagnosis. Why does this happen? Is life unfair? Or are we misunderstanding what the body is trying to tell us? We've been taught that fever is bad, that it means your body is weak, that it must be suppressed immediately. But biologically speaking, a fever is not a failure. A fever is activity. Think of your body as a country. Your immune system is its defense force. When something unwanted enters, a virus, bacteria, or environmental stress, the body doesn't stay silent. It responds. Heat, inflammation, fatigue, these are not signs of defeat. They are signs that your defense system is working. A fever means something has been detected. Your body still has the energy and coordination to respond. No response at all is not peace. It is silence. And silence can be dangerous. But I never get sick. Isn't that good? Let's be honest, in today's world, air conditioning blasts cold air in summer. We move between hot and cold environments constantly. Cold drinks, raw foods, late nights, chronic stress, pollution, chemicals, processed food. Do we really believe that nothing ever challenges our system? Of course not. So if challenges exist, but your body never reacts, there are only two possibilities. Either your defenses are invincible, or they're no longer responding. And biology tells us the first option is extremely unlikely. When the body stops reacting on the surface, problems don't disappear. They move inward, quietly, slowly, invisibly. Here's a key idea. Symptoms are not the disease. Symptoms are the warning system. When warning lights stop turning on, it doesn't mean the engine is perfect. It may mean the sensors are broken. Chronic fatigue, cold hands and feet, poor sleep, digestive sluggishness, emotional suppression. These are not random inconveniences. They are subtle messages the body sends long before any diagnosis appears on a scan. Modern imaging detects results. The body feels problems long before that. Let's talk about something uncomfortable, but important. Cancer cells behave very differently from healthy cells. One thing researchers increasingly agree on is this. Cancer thrives in environments where circulation is poor, metabolism is low, and repair signals are weak. Interestingly, modern medicine is now exploring hyperthermia therapy, using heat to weaken cancer cells. Why? Because abnormal cells are far more sensitive to heat stress than healthy ones. Which leads to a provocative question. If controlled heat weakens abnormal cells, what does the body's natural heat response, like fever, actually do? It may be one of the body's oldest internal cleansing mechanisms. Suppress it too early, suppress it too often, or lose the ability to generate it altogether, and the internal environment slowly becomes more favorable to dysfunction. The heart, not just a pump. In Western medicine, the heart is a pump. In older biological frameworks, the heart was also understood as a regulator of vitality and warmth. Som sin sin organen also a central distributor of energy and circulation. Here's an interesting fact. Cancers of the heart are extraordinarily rare. Why? Because it is one of the most metabolically active, well-circulated organs in the body. Warmth, movement, flow. These conditions are hostile to stagnation. Now consider this common symptom many people dismiss: chronically cold hands and feet. That's not just poor circulation. It's often a sign that energy distribution is weakening, and it's one of the earliest signals the body gives, long before disease. The silent role of sleep. Let's talk about sleep. Not quantity, but timing. Many people who claim they never get sick share another pattern. They wake up at the same time every night. 1:30 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Not because of noise, not because of stress dreams. Their body wakes them. Sleep medicine often calls this insomnia, but the body doesn't wake itself without reason. Nighttime is when deep internal maintenance occurs: detoxification, tissue repair, hormonal recalibration. If something is obstructed, overloaded, or underpowered, sleep becomes fragmented. This can happen years before any lab value looks abnormal. Here's the core idea I want to leave you with. Health is not about never having symptoms. Health is about having a body that can respond, adapt, and recover. A healthy ecosystem has storms. A dead ecosystem is quiet. Occasional illness, followed by full recovery, often signals resilience. Permanent silence is not strength. It is loss of dialogue. What can we do? This is not about inducing illness. And it's certainly not about rejecting modern medicine. It's about respecting the body's signals instead of silencing them blindly. Some principles that transcend medical systems: warm the body gently and consistently. Avoid shocking the system with extremes. Eat foods that support digestion, not overwhelm it. Prioritize regular elimination. Waste must leave. Pay attention to sleep patterns, not just hours slept. Reduce chronic emotional suppression. The body remembers what the mind hides. These are not treatments. They are ways of not interfering with the body's intelligence. The goal is not to fight disease. The goal is to create an internal environment where disease struggles to exist. True health is not invincibility. It is adaptability. If today's talk made you slightly uncomfortable, that's okay. Discomfort is often the beginning of awareness. If you have questions, reflections, or topics you'd like explored next, leave them in the comments. Because understanding the body is not just about living longer, it's about living with clarity, dignity, and resilience. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.